Good evening, everybody. How are you? Okay, I'm Paul McEvoy from Stark Raving Cinema, this is one of our very special screenings. We work with Aaron Truss, the director of this. He works on the podcast with us, along with Jake West, who produces it, and Simon Boswell, who does the music. So please check it out. This is a very special screening. This is the world premiere of Knox, the Rob Knox Story, the director's cut. Please welcome Aaron Truss.
Hey everyone. First of all, I can't see you, so brilliant.
It's really bright.
Yeah. I just wanted to, I saw that, thanks Nan. I just wanted to say a few words. As you walked in, you would have seen a number on screen. Just to clarify what that number was and those faces, that was the total number of knife-related homicides in the UK since 2008, the year Rob died. Yeah, that's pretty much speaks for itself. And we have a number that we totaled at the end of this documentary, but of course we filmed this documentary a couple of years ago. It's now on ITVX. The version that you are going to see is slightly different. I've been granted the opportunity to put some stuff back into the documentary that I felt were pertinent to the film itself, and also show you a little bit more about one of my closest friends who should be here. Actually, shouldn't be here, none of us should be here, if that makes sense. Because, you know, Rob died when he was 18, and he had his life cruelly taken away from him. And as someone pointed out to me the other day, Rob and I are the same age, and Rob would be 35 now. But unfortunately, he will always be 18. I just wanted to thank you all very much for coming out for this. It's a very special night. Rob's family are here tonight as well. There are lots of other people who've been affected by knife crime who are also here tonight. I want to give a special shout out to Martin Cossa, who was here tonight, who recently lost his son Charlie last year in a knife attack. There really isn't too much to say. The film speaks for itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Knox, the Rob Knox Story.
And of course, we'll be back at the end for a Q&A with Colin Knox, Rob's father, and Ray Winstone and myself, and of course Aaron. Please enjoy the film. Have a great night. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Director Aaron Truss. And of course, Colin Knox. Please come down. And Mr. Ray Winstone.
Oh, there he is.
Thank you. One incredibly powerful and emotional piece of work that was. How many of you had never seen that before? My goodness, quite a few. Because it is on ITVX now, so please spread the word about it. And obviously, you're the first people in the world to see the slightly extended cut. I think like 8 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. About 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, we put back in.
So, Aaron, speak about this. I mean, what an incredible...
That's the worst fucking question.
I know, it's not a question. No, but no, it's such an emotional piece.
Yeah.
That, you know...
Well, I got involved with this because you had already started making a documentary before. I think I did an interview for it, and you weren't happy with the results. I'm not here to badmouth the person who came before me and tried to do this, but it wasn't really going anywhere, and it wasn't really going anywhere. And then I eventually looked at some of the rushes and said I wanted to take a shot at it, and then it kind of just snowballed from there, really, didn't it, Cole?
Yeah, it had to happen because the first rendition by an unmentioned, I don't want to bring someone's name down, but I decided it was too blocky. It didn't flow, it didn't work. The right message wasn't coming out of that, the content. I had a chat with Aaron Aaron, and fortunately I made a great decision because he's moved mountains to, over the years as well. How many years has it been?
Oh, I think it's been about 4 or 5 years now.
Just on this one, yeah.
It's amazing how it still holds up with the sound bites, to be honest, because it kind of feels like, well, what has changed
Yeah,
since
exactly.
that happened?
And Ray, I mean, we spoke earlier about this, but this is a very passionate subject for you, isn't it? You personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know how many families in the country it's touched, but it's touched my family. I had a nephew who was attacked, stabbed, very close to death, and was saved by the London hospital. But I just think, I'm getting on a bit now. I'm 67, but I don't remember this being a problem when I was a kid. Where's it come from? What is it about? It's funny how I'm watching a documentary and how time changes your opinion. Things I was saying in the documentary about bang 'em up, I think that comes out of anger and things. Yes, if someone has committed that crime, to me, it's got to be life. There's no excuse for it. But it's kind of thinking about it, because things change. Prisons are full. Well, where do you put people who are carrying knives now? What do you do with them? Maybe one of the things is to actually take them in and let them. If you catch a kid with a zombie knife or a knife on the street, from a kitchen, and say, why are you carrying that? So why not let him meet the families? Why not let him meet you? If you were up for it, if the families were up for it. And spend some time, not 1 or 2 weeks, maybe over a year. That'd be your punishment. Go and sit with the families that you and people like you could destroy, and see how that works. I don't know what the answer is to this. I have daughters, and I still worry about every time they go out. And it's not a way to live. We can't live like that.
You just prompted something in Mum. I went to Elmley Prison, and that's where we shot Cold Kiss. And there was prisoners in situ, and the governor of the prisoners said, I don't want anyone to make a noise. And he put all the new interns there on that landing, and you didn't hear a peep out of them at all. But that's not what I was going to talk about. But on another occasion, I was invited by a murderer to have a chat, one-to-one, because we took Cold Kiss there as a medium to try and turn people around that are due to exit in that year, I think, roughly about a year. So that asking them, the reason Cold Kiss is unique is the twist. The twist in the film. It's only a short one, was that 15 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a twist in the film, but I was asking these guys questions like, do you like holidays, do you like sex, do you like money, do you like your kids? And they were saying, yes, 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 yes. I said, when you leave here, remember what you just told me. See, what we spoke about, what he saw, he evoked the questions, and then he opened people up to have a chat. And I tried to tell them, these are the things you're going to miss. But going back to Ray's point about, should murderers face the family? Well,
No, I don't mean the murderers. The murderers, they've committed the act.
Yeah.
They get life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about when you pull a kid up on the street and he's found with a knife.
Yeah.
Instead of giving him 5 years or reprimanding him, for carrying that knife, you will now meet the families that have been destroyed through actions of people carrying knives. And that way, before the act's even done, maybe you won't save them all, but there might be a handful of people that will stop them committing that crime, or stop them carrying a knife. That's what you've got to stop the act before it's happened.
You're absolutely right.
I think that's
Yeah. But what Ray said, I stand totally behind you, because we have belief, and I think I'm correct in saying this, that you should be not reactive, but what do you normally say? Be proactive. It's no good trees are made, and isn't around anymore, but it's no good Theresa May saying, when we catch the culprits, we will punish them. Well, by that time, there are families that have been punished. We should be more proactive. And stopping people from carrying knives, and there should be a deterrent. And there isn't a deterrent out there. It's laughable. You know, did our parents and grandparents fight in this country to make us free, to be scared on the streets? Ray's got children of his own. He's got daughters. He's afraid to let them out on the streets. Well, years ago, I don't know if it's still the same now.
I can't stop them.
You can't. But I think we need to be more, take an aggressive stance to stopping people from carrying knives, and there should be a custodial sentence. I don't like the word prison. Bang them up, throw away the key, let them out in 20 years or 10 years or 5 years' time. It's got to be something more than that. There has to be an exit programme as well. Get them off the streets, break the gang culture. Why don't they find an old RAF base that's not being used anymore? Low levels of category type of prison, but not prison. But put them in a place where they're away from harming other people, and while they're in there, teach them the error of their ways. So when they exit, they should create a new model of themselves. But the good thing is we've got a meeting with Dame Dinah Johnson on the 28th of October in London, in her office, and along with my friend, I've got a new friend, by the way. There he is, Martin Cossa. He just recently lost his son last year, and we're teamed up to continue the fight against knife crime. Martin's very strong on education in schools. I am too. There's two things I'm trying to fight against, you know. But he's very, very strong about getting on the curriculum. So is our foundation. I don't know. People might want to talk more than me. Because sure, mate. Yeah. Can you just get where I was, and let's go sit back down. Hang on a minute. By the way, I do have a sense of humour. Rob had a sense of humour, and I've made sure I have not lost my sense of humour, because without that I'd be nothing. It's carried me through. So I explained this to Martin, and I've tried to assure him it's okay to smile. It's okay to laugh.
Mate.
Sorry?
Be bigger than the problem, you tell me.
Correct. I think I created this phrase, and I've given it to Martin to use. It's called "Be bigger than the problem." Whatever's out there, it doesn't have just to do with knives. If you have a problem, don't let it sink you down below your normal levels. Be bigger than a problem. Think differently, act differently, push it to the back, but don't let it overtake you. So I'm glad you've taken that on board, Martin. Be bigger than the problem.
Absolutely. Aaron, from a directorial perspective, how difficult was this to make? Because obviously he was one of your closest friends. That must have been very tough, because it was such a personal piece.
Yeah, it was very hard. It was Joe Akers, who worked on it with me, unfortunately couldn't be here tonight because his wife is about to give birth to their son. So, yeah, I'll send them all of your love. But it was very hard, and it took a year or so back and forth, because I was in constant touch with you, Cole, about, does this look good? Is this offensive? Is this right? Because it had to be from a point of view of, I know I was very close friends with Rob, but at the same time there had to be that non-biased approach as a documentarian. Yeah. So
I can't believe the amount of phone calls, texts and messages we've made over the years. It's unbelievable, the amount of energy this guy's put in. But I'm sure his fiancée was probably not too happy about it. Is that a phone again? Got him.
Also, apparently we're getting married, Alice. So,
Well, I just
well done, Colin.
That's what I've got to say. Be bigger than problems.
You can't apply that to everything, man. But, no, it was difficult. It was my first feature, and I was extremely blessed to have Colin, Sally, Jamie, especially because Jamie doesn't talk about it, and that was the hardest probably day that we had. Was we left the camera running and we just let him tell the story of what happened, and he's never done that before. And to wed it the night that Rob died. I'm obviously doing the Harry Potter stuff, Employee of the Dead, all that. That was the most fun I've ever had on editing. But when it was the night Rob died, that was the worst. And Alice can attest to this. Just the mood I was in. That was. But the strange thing was when you're editing, into the late night, and all you hear is playback of Rob's voice over and over and over again. It's kind of like he's in the room with you, and that kind of spurred me on. And then, of course, Ray and Jim and everyone got involved, and I kind of thought, well, no, I can't screw it up. This has to be the one. And I'm incredibly honoured that this was essentially my first film as a director. So if it was going to be about anything, I'd want it to be about one of my closest friends who I miss very dearly.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What was the more difficult thing, making the film or getting it screened?
Yeah, we've had this
Give it a
conversation
reason,
before.
because it's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yeah, it is. It's, making it was, thank God you were one of the first people to say yes. I remember having that conversation with you. I thought, okay, great, people are going to take notice of this because Ray's going to speak and people are going to listen. But honestly, when we finished the film, Natasha Marburger, where are you? Sorry. Natasha Marburger runs the, yes, please, clap for Natasha. She runs the London Independent Film Festival, and my God, thank you so much for being the first person to say, actually, yes, we want this at our festival. And it would have been lovely to meet with you, but then this bastard thing called COVID came along and we couldn't actually meet and screen it properly. So this is actually the first time we've actually screened it on a big screen. But had COVID not happened, but the journey from Natasha's festival to TV, you look at 2 years. Yeah, and that was until Woodcut, bless them, Kula Anastasi, who I want to shout out to, who's not here tonight, she saw it and said, there's something here, and then we worked with them to edit it down to the broadcast hour. And yeah, that took 2 years, and I remember calling both of you up and saying, ITV have got it, we've got it for the UK, we've got an exclusive deal, and that was the best thing ever. I think I had profiteroles that night. So yeah, it took 2 years, and it's taken us this amount of time just to get to a screening with Picturehouse. So I don't know. I want to see this on Blu-ray. I want to see a physical release of this. That's the next step, I think, because.
What about screenings in schools and things like that?
Well, actually, something did
It's
happen.
important, isn't it?
Something did happen. I went to Camden Council. Sorry, 2 seconds. Went to Camden Council, and I sat with people who've been affected by knife crime, and they wanted to show it as part of their programme, and they did for a bit. I haven't heard back from them since, but they started showing the documentary to them, and then they did this type of role-playing thing where they would act out scenarios, like, what would you do now? What would your reaction be? And I sat in on one of these sessions, and I was blown away by. There was a reaction of one kid who I spoke to, and he was involved in a stabbing or something. I don't think he was the one carrying the blade though, and it was just getting his feedback from it. And the documentary made him think, and it made him silent. That was the reaction, and I thought, okay, maybe he's processing it, maybe But he did ask me a lot of questions after, and I would love to see that rolled out.
Listen, if it changes one person's mind in one school, it's done its job.
Yeah.
And that's why it's more important, really, than going on a screen here. It's got to be to the new generation of kids that are coming through. These sort of things need to be shown.
Yeah.
And that's the only place to show them is in schools.
Yeah.
Really,
Agreed.
that's a start.
But also, it's very important to have screenings like this one with you guys, and hopefully you'll all tweet about it on Facebook and Instagram. You know,
Oh,
bringing
if you-
awareness to this
if you look at
incredibly
your,
important subject and topic.
Sorry, just to jump in here, you should have all of these under your seats. You can find the website and the QR code if you want to donate to the foundation to help them keep doing their incredible work. QR code is on the back. If not, you can visit the website and just tell your friends about it, that it's on ITV. It's also available all around the world. It's available to watch on Sky Germany. It's available to watch in Hong Kong, if you're ever in Hong Kong. It's all over the place. And I would seriously suggest just tell your friends about it, because the more people who watch it, the more revenue we get, but also the more it will just go up with the algorithm as well, because obviously we're not Broadchurch or we're not any of the ITV dramas that are on there, but it's 1 hour of your life, and if you can spread that like wildfire, we'd be incredibly grateful.
And of course the Rob Knox Film Festival as well, which is an ongoing thing. It's touched on in the doc, but that's an ongoing thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so Colin let me, I think you let me, I just do it now,
Yeah,
but
I'll let you.
he let me. He let me take over as the festival co-director. The other co-director, Alice, is sitting over there, and
That's his fiance.
it's not my fiancée.
Soon to be married.
Ray, do you want to officiate?
I'm already married, thank you.
And every year, basically, for those who don't know what the film festival is, it's been running, it used to be run by Michael Waring in Bexley Heath, and then I took over a couple of years ago and moved to the Cinema Museum, and for those who don't know, you're sitting in its new home right now. So Picturehouse and the Rob Knox London Film Festival have come together, and our next film festival will be next year. It's going to be big, and it's all still in aid of promoting anti-knife crime and platforming new and rising talent, because that's what Rob was all about. And if he was around, we probably would have made some zombie movie and edited it into the bloody festival ourselves. So yeah, and it's important to keep that going and making sure that every year he's still alive. And also just a huge shout out to Project Vision, who are our sponsors and backers for that, because without them there would be no festival. So thank you to Project Vision for doing that.
As you touched on, thank you so much to Picturehouse as well, because originally in Bromley there was the special event, wasn't there, with
Yeah.
the memorial space, which was, and then Bromley Picturehouse sadly closed, didn't it, immediately, almost the same week.
Yeah.
So now the new home of it is going to be here, isn't it?
It is, and
so
there-
thank you to Picturehouse.
Thank you, Picturehouse. And in the members bar, if you remember, there is Rob's memorial plaque, which is overlooking London, and that's his new home, and he'll be there for as long. It was in Bromley, but then we moved him to here. So if you ever want to become a membership of Picturehouse and go and see Rob, he's on the second, no, he's on this floor.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just round the corner, yeah, round the corner, so.
And before we wrap up, also the for all of you ticket holders, we've got the bar area just as you came in on the left-hand side. So that's exclusively for people with the you guys with the tickets, and we've got the themed cocktails.
Oh yes, can I say a
all
little
that
bit
kind of
quickly
stuff.
about
Of course
that?
you can.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
advert
yeah,
that
yeah.
you saw at the beginning of the Wands and Wizards Exploratorium, the Cauldron, yeah. Oh, wait till you hear this one. I don't think I've told you. So we've partnered up with them because we wanted to bring an element of magic and the Harry Potter side of things into. Oh shit, I don't know if I can say Harry Potter because we might get sued, but it's a Witches and Wizards.
There's a different story, which I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not going into that story.
No.
Fuck that. But yeah, we've teamed up with the wonderful people at the Exploratorium, the Cauldron, and they have, for us tonight, invented a new cocktail, which you will be able to sample when we leave the Q&A. Please go and have a taster of the Rob Knox Tale. And on top of that, I've been told, I could be wrong, but I've been told it's profiterole flavoured. Because obviously, you know, why not? And I think you do get a side of profiterole with it. So help yourselves to a free sample. It's what Rob would have wanted. So. Oh no.
Is there anything that each of you would finally like to say to the audience? Then obviously we'll be in the bar area. So,
Well, just thank you for coming and showing an interest. Thank you very much.
Yes, just that. I mean, thank you very much for coming along. You can always come along to the film festival next year, probably about September. Also, I'd like to thank my buddy Ray. He's fantastic. This guy here.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. Whatever.
I keep on getting confused. Hello, Aaron.
Stop touching me, everyone. Final words. Okay, so I've got a bit of an announcement to make, and we've been. Someone's not getting a cocktail. This whole journey that started with Rob many years ago, and obviously I try to include Rob in everything I do, and I'm a big fan of horror films. I know there's a lot of Fright Festers here tonight, and I'm here to announce that we have started a new project, and this is going to be my first feature as a director, proper narrative feature, and this is. It's going to look familiar. Mr. Projectionist, can you change the slide behind me to something inappropriate? And can you dim the lights? Can we bring those lights down a little bit? There we go. Yeah, that's more like it. I like that. This is Employee of the Dead. The story of a young guy called Hooben who's been wasting his life in a supermarket for 10 years since film school. And he finally decides that he's going to shoot a horror film on his night shift at the supermarket, and he's going to try and enter it at Fright Fest, and he's only got a week to do it. It's the craziest comedy that we could think of, but also, more importantly, it's the story of how Rob, myself, Joe, Todd and James actually had the balls to actually sneak some cameras into a supermarket when no one was looking and try and shoot a zombie film. But we're actually going to see the story of that, and Rob is actually a character in the film. And it's something that's very close to my heart. We've been trying to keep this a secret for ages, and Joe and I, knowing that his wife is about to give birth, have been literally frantically writing this every night, trying to get it ready. And this is the official teaser artwork for it, and it's going to be all new cast, all new fresh blood, because it's all about promoting and platforming. Yes, Colin, you're going to be a zombie in it, all right? It's all about promoting and platforming new talent. So that's Employee of the Dead. So please take pictures of it, spread the word, and if you want to roll, bakery's just down the road. Cheers.
thank you all so much. Thank you.